Good morning, Waller Group. I hope everyone had a fantastic weekend and the holidays are not getting the best of you. All these Christmas parties is a great way to make contacts, right? Okay, so looking at the KDNA, you guys had a productive week last week. Kudos in December. Sometimes the holidays, it can be a bit distracting, but you guys were very productive with your KDNA. I see Tammy Bennett did fantastic. Kudos to Tammy. 51 contacts, and Tammy also closed. She also had 2 closings last week. Excellent. And so did Amanda. Amanda, 2 closings for you. Good job. Amanda has some consistent business that she's been working towards, and the consistency is really paying off. Closing for Claudia, excellent. And Frederick, 3. So Frederick is really catching up here at the 4th quarter stretch. Angela, a closing as well. So good job, you guys, on your December closings. Also on your contacts, and keep in mind 100 contacts a week is something that we need to work towards. It's hard to do. So to talk a little bit about what we spoke about last week, which is your marketing budget and your business plan, I want to know how much farther are you on your business plan. I'd like to review those. I'd like to see copies of that. I know you've been sending those to Richard. That's good. But also your marketing, that's something that I'd really like to be involved there and work with you on, because if you're not prospecting for 2 hours a day, then as Mike Ferry would say, you have to buy your business. So what are you doing in regards to marketing if you're not prospecting each day? Marketing budgets sometimes can run, you can usually allocate about 20 to 30% of your annual gross commission income goal. So if you're spending that, let's say your goal gross commission is $100,000, that's $30,000 for marketing. That's a lot of money, guys. So what you want to make sure that you're getting the best return on your money. So your ROI, your return on investment on marketing, something you have to monitor monthly. And we've beta tested a lot of marketing pieces in the past, and we have good experiences and bad experiences with different marketing companies and different programs. So be sure to ask our advice and get us involved in that before you spend any money that may not be the best ROI. But if you're balancing your business and you're prospecting 2 hours a day and you're marketing, then you're certainly going to meet your goals. One of the things that I worked on over the weekend is a new construction marketing plan. That's something that we have not had in the past. So if you're working with any builders, that'll be a big part of our business for next year. So get with me on that, and I can help you and refine your new construction marketing plan. The other thing that you want to think about is listing again to the Mike Ferry CDs. So the Mike Ferry, I think 18 CD sales system, being the end of the year, it's a good time to kind of refresh your memory and just listen to those again. If it's been a year or 2 since you've listened to them, then it'll spur your thoughts and help you refine your business plan for next year. So I would highly encourage you to listen to those again before the end of the year. This is another great time of the year to be really focused on refining and retooling your systems. What checklists, what systems, what processes do you have in place, and make sure that there's not anything that's not clarified before the end of the year. The thing I want to just talk briefly about is refining your niche. So as a new agent, we usually encourage you to focus on your geographic farm. And as your business grows, then that geographic farm will grow over time, year after year. But you have to have your cornerstone pieces in place first. You're just listed, you're just sold cards, you're marketing to that geographic farm, and your consistency. So it needs to be consistent for 6 to 18 months before you really see results there. And once you see those results, then you can start expanding and you can grow your geographic farm. So that's something that you want to work in your goal. If you're not doing that in your geographic farm, and there's another niche that is closer to your heart or something that you respond to better, then let's discuss that and make that a part of your business plan. So, my experience, one of the things that I did is I initially started on my geographic farm, but then to grow my business, I focused on more expired listings, and I also focused on REO listings. So that's something that I had a large market area, 4-county area for that business. And so that was a niche, and there's no way you can have a large geographic area unless it's a refined niche or of course, your sphere of influence and past clients. So that's always the most profitable business. But there's a lot of different niches to develop, and that's something that we can help you with in your business plan for next year. Your time management, I think I mentioned this maybe briefly last week, that I read a book about 10 outlier CEOs. These are some of the greatest CEOs in American history. And so much of their job related to capital allocation. So how is it that they're managing the finances and managing the capital that is within the companies that they manage? So not just managing people, but managing their capital. So it made me think about you guys as agents. You're the CEO of your company. So what are you doing to manage your capital? This is not just your finances, but this is your human capital. This is your skill set, your background, your experiences. So we have several school teachers who are agents in our brokerage, and they've done fantastic because they have used that teaching background to further their skills in real estate. And it gave them a jump start in regards to some areas of their business, whether it be the geographic farm that they taught in, or whether it be their teaching actual skills. So I want you guys to think about that. What is it that you've done in your background, maybe in your past life and other businesses that you can apply? Talk to me about that, and let's make sure that we're leveraging all of your background, all of your skills, and that you're using your human capital to the best of your ability. As a realtor, what is it that is the human capital required of you to do the best that you can do? Well, sales skills. As Mike Ferry would say, skills are number one. So what are you doing to refine your skills, your sales skills? That's something that you can, by your dialogues and just reading sales books. There's amazing sales books out there about the sales process. Whether you're selling widgets or whether you're selling houses, the same process applies. So are you following a process? Are you going through your presentation? Are you isolating the objections before you close? Are you getting those objections before you go out on the presentation, so that way you're adequately prepared? Practicing that listing presentation. That is your highest and best use of time, is that listing presentation when you're on stage, when you're in front of that seller on that listing appointment. So how do you rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10? Are you 8 or 9? Are you in that top quartile? Let's work to get there. And that's something that Richard and I can work with you on. So don't be bashful to work on those skills, and also the role play together. That's very, very, it also instills more confidence and having a strong presentation. I know I mentioned this to you probably about a year ago. There's a Tom Ford, it was a men's cosmetic presentation I'd gone to, luncheon at Neiman's. And I was so impressed with the presentation that this esthetician went through on these Tom Ford cosmetics. And you could tell that every word, the way her pronunciation, her hand gestures, everything was just meticulously refined, and the presentation was flawless. It was like watching an artist on stage. It was like watching an actor, rehearse or go through their lines. It was really phenomenal. And I thought, gosh, here she's selling cosmetics, and I know of realtors that sell houses that don't have presentations that good. So guys, think about it. How good is your presentation, that listing presentation? And keep in mind, a strong listing presentation is questions based. So asking the right questions, and this is where experience comes in knowing, isolating those objections is really, really important. So there's a 1-minute listing presentation for a reason, because that's what the client wants generally when it's a sphere of influence or past client. They already know, you already have credibility, you already have a working relationship, so you don't want to waste their time. You just want to get the signature and let them do what they're good at and you do what you're good at. So that's where knowing your client is so important in a strong, powerful presentation. What is it that I always say is the number one challenge that realtors have? A lack of credibility, right? So when you're on that listing presentation, that is the number one goal, is to increase your credibility. What are you doing to make sure that you're the most credible candidate to list and sell that property? So if that's not a strong presentation, then your credibility is going to be lacking. So think about that. Okay, So I want to congratulate our top listing agents, and we'll talk about this more in the meeting next week. Our next sales meeting, our December sales meeting, is not this Tuesday, but next Tuesday. So congratulations to Wes, Claudia, Anaid, Tony, and Kathy Crow. So you guys are leading in our fourth quarter listing challenge. So I look forward to either going to California or awarding you with a great marketing check for your marketing for next year to give you a little jump start. So kudos to you guys, and there's several of you that are just neck and neck in the top 5. So this is a great time of the year to go ahead and get those listings on the board. And then the other thing I wanted to mention is our Frisco office. We now have our Frisco office open, and we have 4 fobs you can use for after hours, but the office hours there are from I think it's 8 o'clock until 6 o'clock in the evening, and then on Saturdays from 9 o'clock until 4 o'clock. So if you want to use it after hours or meet clients after hours, then you need to check out a fob. There's probably a deposit for that, but we can coordinate that. So just let Jeremy know, and he'll be sending an announcement out later in the week. So that way you'll have the Wi-Fi instructions and know how to schedule a conference room when you do want to have meetings in the Frisco location. So the reminder again about the sales meeting next week, and then other than that, you guys have a fantastic week. And the cost versus value, we've updated this again, so we have the most recent cost versus value that we'll get out to you. So anytime you're wondering what you need to be doing to take advantage of more tools or resources or the value that the brokerage adds, then always review the cost versus value. I also want you to, just as a reminder, look at the email that I sent out last week on your checklist of, I thought I printed it out, but the items that you want to rate yourself on. So your business plan and your sphere of influence marketing. I sent out a very thorough checklist for you last week, and I haven't had as much feedback as I'd like from you on that. So be sure to look at that, review that, and let Richard or I know how you rate your skills in regards to those areas. It's a great action plan to follow for the entire year as far as your tool belt and your skill set and your human capital. It tells you instructions exactly what you need to polish yourself on. Also, keep in mind the KDNA tip sheets. Those are great resources, those tip sheets that we have for KDNA. So every metric in our KDNA, I have a very thorough tip sheet on specific action items and specific things that you can do to increase your skill set or increase your numbers in that regard. Everything from script practice and role play to closing deals to setting listing appointments. So be sure to reference those tip sheets. Those are great resources for you. Okay, guys, try to keep it short and sweet this week. Have a productive, profitable week. Thank you. And thank you for all that attended Friday night, our Christmas party. I think everyone had a lot of fun. So it was great seeing everyone together. Thanks. See you next Monday.